daddy.
What's up, y'all? We back with a video, and you know, last time you guys were here,
I took the midwife's brew, and that video is up, by the way. However, I know that I left y'all hanging, and I never said like if the brew actually worked or not. And the reason why I never got back to y'all is because yes, it did end up working.
It worked.
And so
it worked. Timestamp. I think when you recorded that video, it was like 3 o'clock. Like 3 o'clock when you
I think it was around like the 3-ish, and then I had to finish the brew within like 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
And so I would say 2 hours after that is when I started feeling the contractions. And then, you know, like at the end of the video I was saying how I didn't think anything was gonna happen. Yeah, I thought I was gonna get contractions, but I didn't think like I was really gonna go into labor. So basically, actually not even 3:30, not even 2 hours later, 4:30 is when the contractions started. But they were just like I probably had like 2 for like an hour, and then it just progressed. And then all of a sudden, big time, because like all of a sudden it was like, oh, just 2 an hour, and then the next hour maybe I got 3, and then like that third hour it was like every 20 minutes or something like that.
And then she texted me like, just to let you know, I don't want you to be know caught off guard. I'm having contractions right now.
Right.
And
So he knew
I'm thinking like it's all in her head. She's thinking this brew working. Of course it's not working. So I'm like, whatever. All right, cool. I'm not brushing her off, but all right, keep me updated. I was handling some stuff, got off work, and I had to handle some stuff, so I wasn't here. So she just told me, and I was like, dang, she just took it. It's no
so I think
way.
It was like 5. It was like 6 or 7. And the reason why I went ahead and told him, because at that point I had already been having the contractions for a while, and I didn't want him to I wanted him to be making his way home just in case.
Right.
I didn't want to just be like, oh, let me just sit here.
Right, because I was about to go get some drinks and all that too. So
I'm like, let me let him know that it is something going on, and I let him know like I've been having them since XYZ time. So.
Since 4:30, and that's why I was like, dang, did you just take the daggone drink?
Yeah, but I mean.
It was what it was. So I got home. She was like, I'm having contractions. I'm looking at her. I'm like, okay, unless she like a great actor, this looks good. I was like, look, she looking like she really going through it. So I'm like, all right. And would it get to like 10 o'clock and you called the doctor?
So basically, you know how like they tell you to labor at home for as long as you can, because if you don't, then pretty much you're going to be sent back. And that was a lot of hours that I was home.
Right.
And we're talking about like from 4:30 to like around like 9:30, 10. Them drinks was getting closer. But I would say around like 9 is when we started actually using a contraction timer.
Yeah.
Just to make sure. Because I think that they were coming in like every 5 or 6 minutes and lasting like 40
seconds.
Yeah. And I was just like, okay, you know how they tell you to go in the doctor's or head to the hospital, I think if it's 5 minutes apart and lasts a minute. So it never really actually lasted a whole minute. But look, I wasn't waiting to that.
She was not waiting.
That shit was getting intense. And so I went ahead and called them, let them know what's happening. It was like, okay, so if it happens if you're still in the same like state within another hour or so, then go ahead and go in. So at that point it was like 10:30. So I was like, all right, 11:30.
11:30.
If we're still here. All right.
By 11:15, she packing up the
by
clothes
11, I'm like,
we not waiting till 11:30.
I'm not waiting. I'm putting my clothes on.
I was like, all right, and I'm sitting here like, look, and my aunt and everybody that close to me know. I was like, look, I'll let y'all know if we go to the hospital, but I doubt it, right? And she packing up. I'm like, look, I don't want to cause no false alarm.
Them drinks was starting to hurt bad at that point, so I was getting scared, and then I was like, I don't want this baby to be coming out on the floor, and then also I don't want to miss my window for the epidural. It's like, this is my first baby, by the way. This is our first child. We've never, experienced this before, so it's not like I went into it knowing like, oh no, I could wait it out.
I got time, right? True.
Nah, true. I'm not waiting out nothing. And then also another reason why we needed to get on the road or whatever is because the hospital that we were going to, they only had 5 suites, and with COVID going on, everybody and their mother is pregnant.
Right.
Also, by the way, this is not a COVID baby. This was planned before we even knew COVID was going to be a thing. I mean, planned to the T that I had a whole calendar of when we were supposed to be, doing whatever we supposed to be doing to have this baby. Wow. So no, it wasn't no mistake, no COVID locked up type situation.
My leg was broke.
Anyway, so basically, since it was 5 weeks, they were basically saying like we may not be able to deliver at that hospital.
Right.
The other hospital that we would have had to go to would have been like 30 minutes away. So I'm like, that's another situation.
As opposed to the 5-minute one that we went
right.
to.
So that's a whole nother situation. I'm like, yeah, plan ahead. I'm a planner as much as I like, as much as I can. I like to plan. So I'm like, I'm not about to be in pain for as long as I have to. Like, something happened, we need to have a window of time.
Right.
So anyway. 11 o'clock, started packing stuff. He's like, it's not even 11:30 yet. I'm like, I'm not waiting.
Right.
Like, dog, like something is like, it's getting too much or whatever.
We'll probably make a video too about like things you should pack in your to-go bag, because you ain't pack your to-go bag till the night before.
Was it the night before?
Yeah, the night before.
Look, y'all, I was so busy.
Yeah.
Life is hard, y'all.
It was that Monday,
so
I remember,
busy.
and then the Labor Tuesday.
I was so busy.
But anyway, we'll probably do a video about things you need and probably things you don't need, for real.
And honestly, I packed my bag, but I used only 10% of what was in there.
That's why I said
honest. But everybody's situation is different. So we'll get to that another time. But so anyways, headed to the hospital, got in there, checked in. I seen a lot of vlogs and stuff like that where they have the women in triage or something like that. Like, they don't even allow you to go in the back until they check your cervix and everything like that to see like, oh, are you officially in labor? They didn't even do that with me, which was, I thought was kind of strange. Not that I was questioning it, because I'm like, all right, have me already in the room ready to go, that's fine. So like, they already had me in the room that I would have been delivering in. So went in the back, changed my clothes, whatever. They asked me 11 questions. The lady, one of the nurses, checked my cervix, and she was like, okay. First of all, I think she didn't know exactly what she was doing. Like, so she would, because she was just like, oh my God, you're definitely staying here. Like, you guys are definitely not going home. But I think she never told us like how much I was dilated or how much I was effaced or anything like that. So then the doctor came in and had to redo the whole situation over. And just to let y'all know, that shit hurts. Getting your cervix checked, okay? Like, it hurts. And I remember the doctor saying like, don't worry, my hands are small. And I'm just like, okay. But it literally felt like she used her whole hand.
Her whole
versus,
arm.
Versus like the nurse who probably used like 2 fingers or something.
Right.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this is just, I can't even deal right now. But anyway, she was like,
You was an inch and a half.
So I was 1.5 centimeters dilated. That morning I was 0 because I had a doctor's appointment that morning. And my doctor checked my cervix that day as well. So I was 1.5 by the time we got to the hospital, and they were like, okay, well, we're definitely going to end up keeping you, not only because of that, but because every time I was having the contractions, our little baby boy, like, his heart rate was dropping or whatever. So
when they saw that, that's when they really confirmed.
Yeah,
like,
that I was
y'all not going nowhere.
Yeah, so just imagine being home all this time over here. I'm struggling and going through the most or whatever. Meanwhile, my baby was like, I don't want to be dramatic, but his heart rate was dropping, being in distress, basically.
Yeah, every time she had a contraction, it showed.
It could have been doing that the whole entire time. Who knows?
So now it's time to get to the nitty gritty. So it was like every right. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say they immediately asked me, did I want the epidural? I was like, I'm gonna try to tough it out for a little bit longer because I did not want the epidural to wear off. I've seen like horror stories about that too, where it's like, well, now it's time for the baby to be delivered, and we can't give you no more epidural or no more medicine at this point, or whatever. So I was scared that was gonna happen to me.
Right.
So I was just like, no, I'm good. I'm good for now. They did. The IV situation started hooking me up, which honestly, they poked me like 4 times to get an IV.
She got small veins.
That shit hurts.
They never find her veins when you go to
the hospital. If they want to take my blood, it's easier. But they were putting it like in random spots. Like, I'm pretty sure that this is like standard.
Let me get your thumb right here.
No. I'm sure this is standard, locations for IVs when you're actually, going through the situation. But I guess I just thought that they were going to like do it right here or whatever. But no, they wanted it right here or right here. And so they tried on like both arms on this area and just couldn't get an IV. And
pretty much stabbed my baby up. Stabbed my baby up.
And I already don't even like needles and stuff like that and get my blood drawn or whatever. So, and I know it's like, oh, well, you about to go through worse anyway. Shut up. That's not the point. I'm not trying to go through more pain than I don't have to.
Right.
So,
So then the doctors kind of got like on the schedule where they were coming like every 4 hours, I would say, like 3 to 4 hours to check her cervix and see if, you know, if she's more dilated and things like that. And then lo and behold, it was like one of the checks, your water broke.
Wait, but there was something before that because I didn't technically feel what was happening at that point. Like before that, they gave me some medicine.
Oh,
that I asked about. They gave me
the drug.
Yeah, they gave me some medicine, y'all. That they was like, oh, so we can give you some local stuff instead of the epidural just to help you cope or whatever. Like, would you like that instead? And I was like, okay, I'll try that. Not knowing what it is, I still don't know to this day, like, what the name of it is. But I just, like, I'm never taking that shit again. So I took it, and I felt like, y'all, I don't even know what type of drugs, like something illegal, like you're not supposed to be having in the hospital or whatever.
She kept saying it was like poking.
So not even just that, I felt like I had the whole bottle of like champagne or wine, or I don't want to say a whole bottle.
You sound like
of
a lightweight.
Like
say
liquor.
Henny or something.
No,
like,
because you would be dead. So that's what I'm saying. I don't want to say like a whole bottle of hard liquor, but like, I don't know what to compare it to, but I felt so drunk to the point where like I'm trying to get her attention and I like could barely get the words out. And I remember thinking like how embarrassed I felt because I couldn't say what I was trying to say. Yeah. So I was like, I feel itchy, pokey, burny, like my skin was, I was like having a reaction to it or whatever. So I'm like, I started itching, started burning. Like I kept feeling like something was poking me. I'm like, what the heck? Is it like something in my covers? Like what is it? And it would just like start from one spot and work its way up or work its way down. I'm like, can we turn this down? She was like, I've already administered it. There is no turning it down. It was in the IV, but what did she say?
It was like wait for it to wear off. Like she took out the rest.
I think she tried to like flush it out.
Pump. Right.
Yeah, I think she tried to flush it out. So I was like, I cannot do this. And then on top of that, I was so nauseous. So it was like a whole feeling of being like drunk, like super drunk, like you didn't had too much. Like there was just no way I could even imagine like walking or whatever. And then in the midst of it, I kept falling in and out of sleep, and I was having nightmares for like a whole 2 minutes worth of sleep. I was having nightmares or whatever. I just felt horrible. So I was like, I'm never doing that shit again. They asked me if I wanted more, if I wanted to do the epidural next, and I'm like, it's definitely going to be the epidural. I would never advise anybody to take that. I don't know what it is, but I think I've seen people do it and they're like, oh, it just made me sleepy. And it did make me sleepy, but it was like that drunk sleepy, not like how you sleepy from a long day.
Right.
Like, no, I can't do it. But
so after that,
I think they ended up giving me the epidural, and that's why I couldn't feel what that was.
Okay, so yeah, once they gave her the epidural, and then I was standing in front. They was definitely.
They were putting in a catheter.
That's what it was.
They were putting in a catheter for me.
And the little nurse was like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, I feel something. I was like, what is that? She was like, is it a contraction? I'm like, that's not what the contraction feels like. Right. And then she was like, oh, your water just broke.
Yeah, water
like,
broke.
okay.
And I seen it. That was my first time seeing it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is y'all lit. Like, water broke or whatever. So we thinking, all right, cool.
Ball about to be rolling.
It's time to get it. By this time, we probably maybe.
I think it was the next day. Or no, it was in the midst of the night, probably.
Right.
In the midst of the night.
So maybe like 4 hours to 6 hours in.
Yeah.
And the water broke. So we're like, all right, cool. These centimeters about to start picking up. So we thought.
Right. So they didn't.
Right. They definitely did not.
They were taking forever.
Like every 4 hours when they came to check, it would like go up like one
centimeter and a half or something like that. So we probably made it to like 3 or 4 centimeters within like the whole night, which was super annoying.
I'm talking literally go 4 hours and they're like, oh, you're at 2. Go 4 hours. Oh, you're at 3. And we're like, wait, her water broke. Why is this like taking so long?
So my official doctor that I had been seeing like this whole time actually ended up like her shift started, so she came in there and they were basically saying that they couldn't monitor my contractions. Like at first, before they gave me the epidural, they could monitor my contractions, but like, you know, like what they put on your stomach to monitor like the baby's heartbeat and the contractions, for some odd reason, it just wouldn't stay in place, or they couldn't find like a good spot to put it. So they had to put something in me. I kept being so blown about all the things that was going inside and staying. Yeah. Like I was just like, oh my God, like dog.
Yeah, because they couldn't feel the contraction, so they put that second.
So they put something.
But they couldn't even get it in right.
Right.
It
so
was like
my doctor was like, why is it hesitation? Like she couldn't get it in. And she's like, did her water break? And I was like, we were saying like, oh, the nurse said it did.
Yeah, it broke.
Mind you, I never even got to see what the water being broke even
I saw it,
like.
but I ain't no doctor.
Or whatever.
So I was like,
I'm like, okay, they said it broke, then it broke then.
Right.
So come to find out, it was never fully broke all the way.
Right. It wasn't fully
just
broke.
A little bit broken. Like it was enough, like enough water, but apparently it's supposed to be way much more than that.
Right.
So
and
she ended up breaking it, and then it was just like all nasty, probably blood, whatever. And so then
once that water broke, that's when stuff started moving.
That's when the ball started rolling. And I forgot to add, they did start giving me Pitocin.
Oh yeah, to speed up everything. Oh yeah, that was earlier
before,
too. Yeah,
before the whole water breaking thing or whatever.
So after the water broke, it was like they were still on that 4-hour interval of coming to check on her, and by this time, y'all, every contraction Ash was feeling, like it was getting ugly in there. Like each jump.
Mind you, I did have the epidural, and I'm like,
right, she had the epidural, but while she was feeling that, like it was working at first, but after that second water break,
it worked overnight or whatever. But during the day, I was like, dog, what is happening? And like, so I had a dead leg. It was like all of the epidural was going to one damn leg. That joint felt like, I don't know, a dead leg or whatever. So I could still feel the contractions, and they kept saying, well, you're still going to feel something. I'm like, but to this extent, and you know how like they say Pitocin, it makes the contractions way worse than they're supposed to or whatever. And then also when your water breaks, it like makes the contractions, you know, more harsh too, like everything gets speeded up. But I was just like, this is just weird. And let me tell y'all, I had a sassy what was it?
The people anesthesiologists or something.
Irritating.
I hope I said that right.
Sassy guy, real sassy. Like, I'm saying like I'm in pain, and then like he'll come in and be like, well, you don't look like you're in pain.
Right, I've been looking at you.
Well, nigga, you just fucking missed it. Because I was just in here dying, okay? Yeah. It's not my fault. The second you walked in, all of a sudden, like, things are a little bit more chill now. So I'm just like, they kept saying, well, do you feel any pressure? Do you feel like you have to push? I'm like, no, I don't know. I don't
you never felt pressure the whole time. The whole time they asked, you feel pressure.
They just kept asking me that. Because, you know, like, basically you start feeling pressure. They're like, okay, well, it's time to push.
Right.
So I'm like, no, I don't feel that. And so, like, I think the anesthesiologist came in like 2 or 3 times, and so they ended up giving me something else that was similar to
it was like a shot or something.
Similar to some other local shit, but I was like, if it's similar to whatever I had last night, it's not happening. Like, I don't want nothing to do with that. And they was like, no, it's something else. That shit didn't work. At this point, like, I'm crying tears, like, not even dramatic, not like, not like that, but like, I'm just like, the tears is just rolling out, because all I can think is like, dog, I'm only like 5 centimeters dilated. I still got 5 more to go.
And it was like taking 4 hours to get to the next centimeter. So it was like,
I'm talking to
it was literally one of those situations where we holding hands and she like, babe, I don't know if I could do it.
I was so worried. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to push this baby out. Like, I'm not gonna be able to get through this.
It got spooky. So, you know, said a prayer to God, you know, and he answers prayers.
Yes. So doctor came in. She was like, I just don't understand why you're in so much pain. Let me just see. Right. And she checked whatever. She's like, oh my God.
Oh.
It's time to push.
Right.
So this whole time I never felt the pressure.
Right.
Like, so never felt the pressure that I had to push or anything. But the baby head was like basically in the canal this whole time. And I'm like, well, how long he been in there? Like, you know, like no one would have known to even check. They were just like, dang, she in pain. Well, we don't know why she's in pain. Right. Shouldn't be, but you know.
And last time they checked, she was at 5 centimeters. So imagine jumping from 5 to 10. It's go time.
Like
his head right there.
Within like an hour. It probably was like an hour, honestly. I would say an hour or 2, because his head was stuck in there for a while, and we knew when it came out. Like, his head was all elongated and everything when he first came out. That's how long he was in there. But anyway, backing up a little bit, I'm like, okay. Yeah. She just like, so you're going to have to push. We're going to have to push at the next contraction. I'm just like, okay.
It was go time. Okay. Doctors came
I'm like, you know,
I'm holding
trying
one
to
leg.
Get strong. I'm like, somebody going to have to hold this dead leg, though, because I cannot hold that weight and push and curl over all that. Mind you, all of this with the mask on because it's COVID.
Right.
Also, I forgot to mention, yes, I did have to take the COVID test or whatever. But anyways, so within 20 minutes, I pushed this little munchkin out.
Yeah, I'm talking about a couple pushes, man. And when they said that I said that last one, they was like, ma'am, this next push, you're going to have a baby. And man, I'm sitting there looking at the other end like, what? It's go time. It's lit. It's lit.
Right. And I couldn't tell if I was doing a good job. I was like, am I doing it right? Am I doing a good job?
And it sound like everybody cheering for you. Whether you doing a good job or not, she wouldn't really know. Because they're going to say you're doing good anyway. But no, she really was. She really was.
I don't know. Because like I've seen vlogs where they be like, come on, you can't do it. Like after a certain point though, I've seen that happen. Like
it ain't take long though, like she said.
Because some people push for 2 hours, 3 hours, and like then the baby go into stress and like, look, you can't do it. We gonna have to do a C-section. Because some people literally be like, I can't. I'm so tired. Like I can't push no more. Right. Just imagine like.
And you was in labor, mind you. We checked whole time. We checked in at 11:30 on a Tuesday. 11:30 p.m. on a Tuesday. You had 9:43 p.m. So we talking about almost 24 hours, but 22 hours worth of labor.
Yeah, and you know how some people, they be so comfortable that they can have their Jello and their frozen ice sherbet and all. I didn't have none of that. I was like, I can't even think about food right now. Like I'm not feeling it. Also, I was really, really scared of like throwing up also. So I would just be drinking water, but just like a little bit. Mm-hmm. I did end up having, I want to say some type of apple juice or whatever, because during my pregnancy I did have pregnancy diabetes, so I needed something like help stabilize. So I was dealing with both of that, like, you know, hungry, low blood sugar, all that. They had to check my sugar, like I don't even know, I think it might have been every 2 to 3 hours, and that shit stayed low that whole entire time, like I mean like in the 70s. So it was just all that, being tired. I was just thinking like, oh my god, I'm gonna push the baby. I ain't got no energy, didn't eat nothing, didn't do nothing.
But honestly, my wife did a wonderful job. Like she pushed them out. I really was worried that was gonna be the hard part. The hard part was dealing with the contractions. When it was time to push, like she was a veteran.
Honestly, y'all, I was so determined when she said it's time to push, because I just immediately thought about my baby. Like when she was like, oh, he's here. Like I'm like, I ain't my baby.
I can see his head. He had hair, y'all.
I'm like, I gotta get my baby out. I'm scared. Like, is he okay or whatever? Like, of course, like his heart rate was fine, but like they were saying like the reason why my contractions were so bad and I was feeling like that is because he was already like making his little way downtown.
Right. And nobody knew. Mind you, last time they checked, they was in 4-hour intervals. Last time they checked, she was at 5 centimeters, and all of a sudden, less than an hour, he was there. His head right here. Yeah. And only reason that nurse checked, because we was there so long, we done seen the rotation of nurses and doctors, the nighttime shift, the day. So this was a new one, and she was like, well, let me just check. And it was
because she had checked me before already, but she was just like, I guess it wasn't even time for her to check me yet, but she was just like, let me just see, because
she was in so much pain.
I just want to see, you know, because you're in so much pain. And I'm like, thank you, Lord Jesus, for her checking me, because if something would have happened to my baby or me, I don't, y'all, I would have been realistic. We good. But anyways, so
he was born.
He came out
5 pounds 4 ounces.
Yes, he was so small, y'all.
Very, very small.
But honestly, we kind of figured that he was going to be small, because like he was small throughout my whole pregnancy. Like
she's small.
I just had I had a little teeny belly or whatever. So yeah, we kind of figured he was gonna be small or whatever. I thought like maybe at most 6 pounds. But yeah, anyways.
So since we at the end, did you want to show him?
I'm not waking him up.
Oh my God.
Y'all, I'm not waking him up.
You gotta bring him in. That's how you close it out. He gonna wake up anyway, and then look, you gonna wonder why he don't want to sleep at night.
That's not what I'm gonna wonder, because he's still gonna be sleepy. He should still be sleepy, and it's definitely not because I woke him up.
We need to show him. We definitely need to show him. Oh my God. That's the way to end the video. Let me go get him.
Oh, he's about to be upset, y'all. I hate waking him up. I feel like he'd be so stressed. He actually up. I mean, I wake him up to eat, obviously, if he not up. But like, you already know, if you have a baby, you already know the deal about their schedule. And let me tell you, I've been breastfeeding. Let me just say, God bless all the women that breastfeed out there, because babies want to breastfeed 24/7. Not only do they want to breastfeed 24/7, or this might just be my situation. He not only does he want to breastfeed 24/7, he wants to stay on for like an hour. Mind you, breast milk only lasts on their stomach for like 2 hours. So by the time I'm done changing his diaper, putting him on the boob, it's like, dang, now I probably got like 45 minutes to breathe, eat something.
You ain't gonna like this light.
So
y'all, we want to show y'all
look at baby Onyx.
Baby Onyx.
Look at him.
Ooh,
He like,
gonna show him for the camera?
Why they do this to me?
No.
Look. Oh.
He gonna start crying.
Boo-boo.
Baby Onyx. Y'all. And we gonna go ahead and close out this video. Just wanted to show y'all that he made it. He here. He a little camera shy. It's like, nah, he was really being good. We went to the store today.
Mommy baby. Mommy baby. Okay.
So appreciate y'all watching. Like, comment, subscribe. But we're gonna do videos because, like, you know, we new parents or whatever. So we definitely got a lot of things we want to show y'all. A lot of things, like I said, the video of what bags you're gonna need. Even some of the items that we have, like, we would love to show y'all some of the things that has been very useful for us. You know what I'm saying? So we appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all come back and check in. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.